AITA for not letting my stepmother meet my daughter? Myself, 33F, and my husband, 38, have a 3-month-old daughter. My stepmother is strictly prohibited from approaching me and my baby, and consequently my father refuses to see his granddaughter without his wife. For context, my stepmother had a clandestine abortion in her youth, and had severe complications, which left her infertile. When she married my father, she immediately came to see me and my siblings as her children, being very pushy and invasive, and wanting to outdo our mother, who is alive and present in our lives. Even when we were kids, the situation made us uncomfortable, and her obsession with motherhood and being our only mother scared us and drove us away completely. My father, wanting her to be happy, started trying to force us to call her mommy. Eventually, our mom got our custody, and we moved across the country. Over the years, and the physical distance, my relationship with them became more tolerable. There were occasional problems, such as the fact that she wanted to be mentioned as a mother in the wedding invitations, or when she tried to adopt my niece after my sister-in-law's death, declaring that my brother was unable to raise his daughter. Before the pandemic, she and my father moved to my state, something common for retirees. She started posting photos of my ultrasounds and baby clothes with captions like "looking forward to my baby's arrival," or "at last entering the journey of motherhood." I scolded her, and demanded that she delete the posts. And then the physical harassment began. As we live in the same condominium, she started to come to my house several times a day to check me, fight with me about what I ate, and set up a complete nursery in her house, telling me that the baby would need to spend the first few days with someone more experienced to take care of him. When we found out it was a girl, she immediately started saying that finally her Christina would come, and how her dream would finally come true. I immediately denied that this would be my daughter's name, and made it clear that she would not be a mother figure to my baby. My stepmother then reminded me that a lot can happen during childbirth, and that it was better that and I understood that she and my father were prepared for any eventuality. And that I couldn't be cruel, and deny her the closest thing she'd ever have to a daughter, since I didn't accept being her daughter. After that, and other comments and actions, my husband and I decided to take some action in case she tried something. And now, 3 months after my baby was born, my father refuses to visit his granddaughter, even though we live close together, as I don't allow his wife to play mother and daughter with her. I understand that she has frustrated maternal instincts, but my daughter is not her replacement baby. So Reddit, am I wrong? Update 1, my husband and I hardly slept that night. Partly because we've been reading your answers, and partly because a 3-month-old baby sleeps as little and breastfeeds as much as possible. Thanks to you, I was able to see that my father will never protect his children, especially if it means putting limits on my stepmother. But the big point, the straw who broke the camel's back, was what happened this morning. As I work from home, and my husband owns his own company, we decided to streamline the moving process. What was our surprise to find my stepmother in tears at our gate, properly locked, screaming and begging for my forgiveness, and claiming that all she wanted was love, happiness, and that I have no right to deny anything so small to her. For me, it was like coming out of shock. After threatening to call the police, my father finally came and took his wife home. Immediately I called my stepfather, and he and my mother came to pick us up. I was glad he came as he is a very intimidating man as well as being a retired police officer. We've packed a few essentials, and the 3 of us will be staying at my mom's house for now. She lives in an apartment, with plenty of space and 3 levels of security to allow access. We are in contact with our attorney, who will refer us to someone who specializes in family status, and we will seek to get a restraining order under our old address. P.S. To someone who asked me in private, my sister-in-law's death was caused, according to the police report, by an alleged mechanical failure in her car. At the time, with the whole situation going on with my brother and niece, I never really went into the matter. And for the other person who asked, my mother is Chilean, but she has lived in the United States since she was 20 years old. She is an American citizen legally speaking, whereas my stepfather, father and stepmother are all North American by birth. I have dual nationality. Update 2, well, it's been 2 weeks since my original post, and I felt compelled to let you know, who supported and advised me so much. A lot happened, but I will try to summarize. We blocked my dad and stepmother from phones and social media. Unfortunately, this only made the situation worse. My stepmother began to speak ill of me to anyone who would listen, our neighbors, friends, family members, and even our church priest. The last few days have been a campaign, but thank God people were able to see her insanity, and she ended up losing a lot of important people. We put our house up for sale, and we are currently in the process of purchasing an apartment in my mother's building. Enhanced security is an attraction, in addition to the fact that items such as fingerprints are required for access. The garage also requires an access code, and this makes the building very secure. Following recommendations, we've taken our cars for a review, and we're in the process of getting a restraining order, based on the evidence we already have, such as audio and video of my stepmother's behavior. I completely cut off contact with my father, and my brothers did the same. As for the possibility of my stepmother calling the CPS, when my husband went to get the rest of our belongings, 5 days ago, along with my brothers-in-law and father-in-law, my stepmother said that stealing her baby would not go unpunished, and that she would show it to everyone world that the two of us weren't good parents, and that we were prepared, because she wouldn't give up her baby. According to my father-in-law, her expression and speech caught the attention of the neighbors, and some of them assured my husband that they supported us, including noting her rapid and dangerous mental decline. The fact that my father did nothing to stop this episode ended up sealing the end of our relationship. And so, this is the update so far. My mother and I only walked along the shore accompanied by my stepfather, who is now constantly armed, and he assured me that he would end my stepmother's existence before she steals his granddaughter. I still can't sleep properly, and I'm paranoid about the baby monitor, doors and windows, even though my mom lives on the 15th floor. Because of this, I am actively seeking a therapist, and my husband and I are closer and closer than ever. We review all the legal issues regarding our wills, and the custody not only of our little girl, but also of any baby we have in the future. For now, that's it. Thank you all for your support, advice, criticism and immense help. I promise to inform you of any news. AITA for telling my mom she needs to own her marriage failing and not blame me. My mom is going through a divorce right now. She and her husband have been together/married for 18 years. She and her husband got married when I was 10 months after my dad died, and it was rough. I was so mad at the time. I told her she didn't love my dad as much as me if she could replace him that quick. She would get mad at me and tell me I shouldn't say that and she had a right to be happy. I told her she should have waited because I wasn't ready. For about 5 years we had the same fight almost every day, because she would expect me to be happy and bond with her husband and I just couldn't. I had no therapy to help me cope, and I saw my mom move on really fast and then have this new person who was trying to play the role I wanted only my dad to have. It was tough. When the fighting stopped, our relationship remained fractured and we basically coexisted. Fast forward to today, and my mom and I talk very rarely, but that's about it. She told me about the divorce at Christmas, and then earlier this month she told me she needed me to apologize for my role in this. That by saying so often that she couldn't have loved my dad if she remarried so fast, I made it stick in her head and left her with doubts and guilt, and it destroyed her marriage and her happiness. I told her she could not put that on me. I was a grieving kid she refused to help. And that she needed to own her part in her marriage failing. She said at the very least I should apologize for being so cruel to her when she was trying to be happy. I told her I did know her that when she couldn't even help me after my dad died. The only reason I'm posting here is I know I said it a lot, and maybe even though I was a kid when it happened, I should apologize now, I don't know? Or maybe you will all say I did basically ruin her marriage. I feel like I need to know. AITA for screaming at my stepmother that she doesn't care about us? I, F21, am a triplet. I love my two sisters, and after 21 years, of course I'm used to people mixing us all the time. It's annoying, but we are used to it. My dad has been dating with his wife for 8 years, married for 6 years. I can count with my fingers just how many times she has gotten our names right, even thought we've told her the little things to tell us apart, in all these years. We've spent New Year and vacations with them. It's not like she never sees us, but I swear that she gets the names wrong every time. We all have similar voices and jobs too, but right now, one of my sisters has pink hair while the other one dyed it blonde. She still gets it wrong each time, and it annoys all of us since it's not coming from a stranger but someone that has spent lots of time with us. We correct her every time or don't reply until she gets it right. She doesn't have a good relationship with our mom, so I guess that might affect? But I'm not sure. She hasn't always been nice to us either. A few days ago she wouldn't stop calling me by my sister's name and it was annoying me. I corrected her a few times and she said I was rude. I told her that she obviously didn't care about us or would have tried harder by now. She tried to punish me and we got into an argument. I quit, she said to my dad, but he is on her side and wants me to apologize. I don't want to. My sisters are on my side. AITA for screaming at her and not wanting to apologize? Edit, I forgot Lamal, but my mom's husband was able to tell us apart after 1 year. AITA for telling my dad the reason I don't respect him is cause he's chronically PC whipped? Title sounds bad, but hear me out. I, 16F, live with my dad, 38 meters, and now new stepmom Amanda, 31F, and step sibs Kate/Bo 9F/11 meters. My dad has this problem where he just totally cows to whatever woman gets with him. Every GF he's ever had since my mom died when I was 7 has been the one calling the shots with him. They'd complain about anything and he's end up handling it to please them so they'd stick around. It doesn't help that he's only ever dated one shit woman after another. Within the last few years I've stopped listening to my dad or any of his GFS when they try to boss me around, on the GFS orders usually, because I'm tired. Dad has said I'm going through the rebellion phase like I'm just being an angsty teen with no real problems. Amanda has taken issue with my bad behavior and is constantly criticizing me and complaining to my dad to straighten me out, and so he's constantly on my case too. It all came to a head this week when Amanda got mad at me for not letting her kids play with my NES. It's old and delicate and her kids are not. I told her to screw off, and if she wanted to keep her kids entertained then she can let them play with her Switch, which she won't because they'll break it. So after that she stormed off crying to my dad, who stormed into my room to bitch at me for being so damn disrespectful to him and his wife. He said I needed to learn some respect for him, but I just lost it and cut him off by screaming at him. I said I don't respect him because he's a chronically PC whipped loser who would rather coddle his bitch wife than stand up to her bullshit. He looked really offended and got quiet before yelling that I was grounded, then he stormed out, slamming my door. Later my grandma called and said I was being childish and need to shape up and apologize to my dad because he keeps a roof over my head and food in my stomach and that's no way to treat him. AITA? Edit, to everyone saying you should have explained why you didn't want them using the NES. I did. I explained it calmly to her kids, then to her. But she said it was just junk and if they broke it then it wouldn't matter. That is when I told her to screw off. Edit 2, some people told me I can edit in more after posting. I wasn't able to include all details cause of the character limit, but I'm seeing a lot of comments with the same questions / etc, so I'm gonna try to sum things up here now. I've tried asking my dad to go to therapy with me but he's refused every time. He says therapy is for crazies and won't listen to me. I've tried talking to my dad more than once about how him and his GFS / wife treat me makes me feel like crap, each time I'm brushed off. Me being disrespectful usually consists of me not dropping my online schooling to go into the store for Amanda cause she doesn't have makeup on, not letting her kids into my bedroom when I'm not there, her son has sticky fingers, not doing enough cooking / cleaning despite Amanda having no job and not cleaning or cooking more than once a week, babysitting all the time, and basically just not being a live-in servant for her / them. I know now that PC whipped is actually pretty misogynistic and I'm sorry for using it. I didn't know and just grew up hearing it from my grandpa, dad, and uncles. My dad choosing to coddle his GFS / wife isn't new. He's been doing it since he started dating after mom died. So this blow up wasn't out of nowhere really.